in efforts to boost investment in the steel sector of the nation's economy. The federal government is taking a step forward by announcing a comprehensive insurance coverage for all ongoing projects within the country. The Minister of Steel's Development, Mr. Shaibu Audu, said this during a crucial meeting with key agencies under the ministry. The projects are the Ajaokuta Steel Company Limited, the National Iron Ore Mining Company Itakpe, the National Steels Raw Materials Exploration Agency, Meteorological Trading Institute, and National Meteorological Development Center in Jos. The minister said the deliberate policy of the present administration to introduce insurance cover for steel projects was a critical step to mitigate the risk and uncertainties inherent in large-scale developmental endeavors. Mr. Audu added that other indices to enhance the sector was to effectively rehabilitate rail infrastructure connecting the Itakpe and Ajaokuta steel complexes. Our latest report from the National Bureau of Statistics says taxes on products in the country surges to 1.36 trillion naira in the first 6 months of 2023. This represents a 103.29% increment from the 636.19 billion naira recorded in the first 6 months of 2021 and a 25% growth from 1.09 trillion naira recorded in the corresponding period of 2022. This is contained in the Bureau's data on net indirect taxes on products and is based on current basic prices. When adjusted for inflation, the taxes on products amounted to 465.9 billion naira in the first 6 months of 2023, a 34.98% increase from 345.19 billion naira reported in the first 6 months of 2021, an 11.94% increase from 416.23 billion naira recorded in 2022. The rise in product taxes year-on-year comes despite falling purchasing power in the country, with inflation hitting 22.79% in June. And moving forward, the Indonesian ambassador to Nigeria, Dr. Usra Arafat, says Indonesian exports into Nigeria stands at $459 million, while Nigeria exports to Indonesia is about 4 trillion naira, $4 trillion. The ambassador expressed worry at a low figure while hoping that trade relations between the two nations will improve with Indonesia expanding its export capacity into Nigeria. Also, India's High Commissioner to Nigeria, Mr. Shir Basumbarmanin, says India has contributed more than $19 billion to the growth of the Nigerian economy. The ambassador spoke on the sideline of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industries International Business Conference and Expo in Lagos.
Nigeria amount to about $4.32 billion, with export Indonesia to Nigeria at only $459 million. So it means we need more export to Nigeria. Therefore, it reflects the high untapped potential of Indonesia and Nigeria trade, which could be further improved.
We have more than 135 Indian companies which have made Nigeria as their home for the past about 40-50 years. And they have invested more than $19 billion worth of $19 billion in the Nigerian economy. Anecdotally speaking, there is one small statistics which anecdotally states that Indian companies are the second largest employer of Nigerians after the Nigerian government. They are in almost every manufacturing sector, whether it is oil and gas or whether it is all the Okadas. 74% of the Okadas are actually Indian origin. The Marvas or the KKs. The issues in pharmaceuticals, more than $3 billion have been invested in pharmaceuticals.
All right, before we get talking, let's tell you that the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, says turning away from open trade will lead to greater price volatility and inflationary pressures, including weaker growth prospects. The DG said this at the Arnold Jackson Hole Economic Policy Symposium hosted by the Federal Reserve's Bank of Kansas City of the United States. WTO boss noted predictable trade was a source of disinflationary pressure, reduced volatility, and increased economic resilience, whereas fragmentation of trade into rival blocs would be costly. She said the world will turn its back on open and predictable trade will be one marked with diminished competitive pressure and great price volatility. Former Nigerian Minister of Finance noted that sustained inflation has made a comeback across the rich world, with subsequent monetary tightening exacerbating debt distress and financial instability for dozens of developing economies. She added that WTO economists estimated that if the world's economy decouples into two self-contained trading blocks, it would lower the long-run level of real global GDP by at least 5%.